Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel here. This is Mac. For those of you who have tuned into this channel and are watching this video for the first time, my username is McKellar, Mac for short. On this channel of mine, I pretty much mostly just produce gameplay, live streaming, and gameplay commentaries, and pretty much give off some fun facts, educational type of details, and just pretty much express certain areas and details along with the gameplay, just for the fun of things. So first of all, I do know that it has been a long while since I've been on here and been able to produce anything, and I know many people have been asking me if I'm gonna be playing anything anytime soon, or record anything or produce anything on my channel, like, anytime soon or something, or anything like that. Now, considering I know I haven't posted anything in a long while, I think it's like about roughly, give or take, 9 or 10 months or something like that. Well, first of all, I'll just simply start this out by saying, I do apologize if I have not been able to be as active on my channel as much as I would like to be. But do keep in mind, okay? Do keep in mind there is believe it or not, there is a very good, logical, in-depth type of explanation as to why that is. So, now, before I do, begin to, give off any kind of explanation, now, first of all, I'm going to tell all of you this because, pretty much, the reason why I'm going to be explaining all of this as to what happened is, it's pretty much in relations to what I had to go through and what I've been impacted with. And I know for a fact, now considering the fact I live in Canada here, I'm also going to go ahead and mention that, considering that many Canadians in my country of Canada all have been impacted with this and have gone through this, I also do know that there are many people from all nations that have been impacted with this and have gone through this as well, besides me and me alone. And in relations to that, I'm also expecting everyone to be able to fully understand in depth as to why, in relations to this, why I have been absent for quite some time. And by the way, I'm going to mention this as well, that, well, you may hear some people kind of talking into the next room or something like that, like also like a little child doing the same thing. That's just a buddy of mine with his son. I've also had mentioned to him that I'm going to be doing some recording, and he already knows about that, so just try and discard that, pay no attention to that. So as I do begin to explain everything here, through in the part of some legalized type of perspective of things, some information I'm going to have to leave out, some information that I'm going to have to rather keep restricted. I don't necessarily wish to really release this information through the media here as it is on my channel here. Well, it does, however, relate to the part of employment, working somewhere. However, just some companies I just can't really, some companies I'm not going to be in that position to release the company's information as to who they are and so on. And the current company I'm with right now, I still can't. It's just pretty much for the logical best. I just don't reveal that information. But I will discuss as to what has happened, pretty much along the way of that. So now here is the detailed explanation that I know all of you have been waiting for. And this is something I'm just going to give this all to you here. It's a bit kind of personal, but again, I also know that I'm not the only one who has gone through this. Many people have been impacted with this. Many people have gone through this. And I know I have explained, I pretty much have explained this to many people as to what has happened. And, well, the logic of it just, it does stand out on its own as to what has happened. So here is where it starts. It pretty much all began, and yes, I'm pretty sure all of you have heard of this before. It all began with the coronavirus, aka COVID-19, or just simply, for a shorter term of it, COVID. It all began with that. And, well, I was pretty much like on a little kind of a vacation trip with a buddy of mine. Unfortunately, now he has recently passed away, which, yeah, it really sucks. It's saddening. Well, I was in the I was in the States with him and visiting his family, and it was a nice little vacation, nice little getaway. And then once I got back to Canada here, that's when it was one of those type of things that COVID just, boom, it striked everywhere. Boom. It's like the entire world was just, bam, infected with it. The entire world. Which I think that's kind of rather a little suspicious and unusual, but that's just my little take on that. So COVID happened, and during that time period, I was working with, pardon me, I was working with a housing company. Now, here's the little detail I was going to mention about. Now, there are various housing companies with different various names. Now, which housing company? I think it's just logically for the best. I don't reveal that information as to what the housing company is called. But I will mention that I was working for a housing company and was working there full time. Like, keep in mind, this was during the time when I was working for a housing company, plus I was working on and producing more of the gameplay content just for the fun of things. And then as I was working for this housing company, now COVID it was striking all over the world, and other countries, including mine in Canada here. I'm going to assume other countries were doing the same thing. But I do know that the Canadian federal government was severely pressing down upon everyone with the regulations of COVID, and it was just getting towards too extreme, and it was like severely limiting our freedom to do whatever or to do anything, which I thought, like, this is really getting ridiculous. And then COVID got pretty much that bad to the point that, unfortunately, I ended up losing my employment with that housing company, and things just, let's just say that year was just not good at all, and that year was just not good to me one bit. And since I lost my employment with that housing company, things just were not going all that great. And on top of that, the reason why I'm mentioning about this, because I do know other Canadians, and I'm pretty sure other people from all sorts of nations were most likely getting impacted with this, because we were going through a great deal amount of damage in the health area, of course, in relation to COVID, and the financial area. Well, let's just say that that the Canadian Liberal Party and their coalition party, they're not exactly the sharpest tools in the shed. Actually, I'll make that much more clearly. They're just plain and simply not sharp whatsoever. They're not political thinkers. uh, let's just say that some political liberal leaders are just not, they're just not qualified to lead a country. And I'm pretty sure all of you are, as to who I'm referring to, yeah, Trudeau. That's all I'm gonna say about him. I swear that guy can. I swear that guy can trigger off multiples of aneurysms and give other people terrible heartburn and ulcers. But anyways, so I lost my job with a housing company, and of course, going through some financial challenges. Every Canadian was going through that, including myself. And they were saying that we'll go ahead and give you money if you stay home. I cannot afford to do that because Canada was becoming way too challenging just to even try and simply live. But don't worry, I'll get to that in a bit here. And since everything was going all crazy and stupid, look at it this way. I even was chatting with a woman that she was panhandling at a gas station to try and get money for her kids. And this woman is a professional, experienced, anywhere between, I think, either a mental health nurse or a hospital nurse. And she lost her job and she was already panhandling for money for her kids. Yes, that's how terrible the situation was getting. That's how terrible, pathetic things were. And apparently, more of these type of pandemics are coming along the way, according to what I've heard. When, I don't know, but it's just getting stupid. So, anywho. So, unfortunately, I had lost my position with this housing company, and that put a pretty kind of nasty type of bit of a financial challenging part on my end. And like I said, things were just not that great. And oh my god. What else here? Besides that, even during Christmas and during the New Year's, I was just trying to find work as quick as I can. Pretty much deploying out resumes, typing out cover letters to other typing out cover letters to other companies to try and get things moving for myself. And believe it or not, even on my birthday, even on one of my birthdays, I was still doing this. It was like I did not at all have time to celebrate one of my birthdays at all. I couldn't go out, have a good time with friends or anything. I didn't have time. Plain and simple, I didn't. I just had to keep on trying to search for work, deploy resumes, send out cover letters to other companies. So I was trying to keep on going and trying to get something here quick. And well, after a long last of a few months, I did manage to work with a water company that delivers water to anywhere between in my city and outside of the city. Again, I'm not gonna mention the company name. It was just like a very short period. It just didn't work. Like whatever, as long as hopefully I was trying to get some revenue in, everything was fine. And then, pretty much after I was let go from there, a temperament or like a seasonal type of job came up when I began to get like a landscaping type of job. Again, I'm not going to mention what landscaping company it is. I just pretty much like the owner called me like, okay, well, we need guys to go around to other type of residential areas and commercialized areas so we can do some landscaping and laying down paving stones and so on. Like, it's work, it's job, it pays. I'm fine with it. Whatever, I'm good. Now, keep in mind, I was also still working on some gameplay content for the fun of things, and still, this is during the time I was doing live streaming and I was working, and then, it was a seasonal type of job, It was fine. I of course got connected with some pretty cool guys that I got connected with. And we all stayed connected. It was pretty cool, and nice, and of course still connected with them as well. And then after the landscaping type of a job, I got hired on with this with this one type of current job I'm with right now. Now again, due to their type of contract and their type of laid out rules and what their standards are like and so on. Once again, even though I'm still with the company, I cannot talk about them. I cannot reveal that information as to who they are. I can't reveal the name. Nothing. The only thing that, and keep in mind, I did check with some of my supervisors and including management about if I were to give off like a tiny little detail as to what kind of field I work in. If I mentioned this, and they were okay with it, like that's fine. That's actually a bit of a generalized type of term. It's not like anybody's gonna catch on to it. That should be fine. Like, okay, sure, no problem. So the only small little kind of hint or detail I can give about my job is that I pretty much work with mobile machines. Now, I do understand that doesn't necessarily say anything. Mobile machines could be anything. Could be like using or working on like a golf court, like a little golf cart type of little machine, to working on a common type of car or truck, maybe even on some sort of different type of machine or whatever. Well, I know that's a bit of a generalized type of saying, and that doesn't really say anything. Again, I'm sorry. That's the best. That's the best and as far as I can go. Which is like I work on mobile machines. Again, I can't really reveal that much further, and that's all I can say. But it is a really awesome job. It's actually a pretty cool job. It's an awesome gig. I enjoy it. And it's great. There's also great experience and much lucrative type of experience and opportunity behind it. And I'm very pleased that I'm working with this company. Now, but the thing is that now that I'm back on track with employment. Now, since I'm back on track with employment and working at a great job, and everything is fine. Now, here's something else. Now, since I'm now back on track and I've got a really awesome, great job, and I'm, doing quite very well. I like the people I work with. The people very much enjoy and like working with me. Everything's all great and awesome. Now, but the thing is, just because now that I'm pretty much in my perspective anyways, I'm trying to get myself back more on track here, and I'm earning some great pay, earning some good money, and I'm doing very well for myself and so on. However, technically that, in my own type of personal perspective, technically that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Now, the reason why I say that is because due to the terrible, severe type of damage, the type of damage that COVID has caused with health and the finances, which everyone has been impacted with and struggling with and so on. Because of COVID has done a great deal amount of damage in those areas. As in, just because now I'm working at an awesome job, earning some really great, nice pay and so on, technically that doesn't mean anything because the damage is still done. And now people have to try and now figure out as to how to deal with this, and I'm practically in the same boat as well. COVID has done some stupid nonsense, and the damage is done, and we still have to now deal with this. In fact, if anything, besides COVID, now we're dealing with something even more problematic. This worldwide inflation. And by the way, there's also one little detail I forgot to mention, that because of the amount of the severe damage that COVID has caused, including in the financial area, not only did I lose my employment with that one housing company, unfortunately, I also inevitably lost my place. I lost the place that I was living at, which also had meant that I didn't have any other type of alternatives on how to save the place. So unfortunately, that also meant I was forced to relocate elsewhere. So yes, I did manage to lose that type of employment with that housing company, plus I lost my place, which means I had to relocate elsewhere. So yes, you can definitely thank the Canadian Liberal government for that. You can thank the Liberal Party and the Coalition Party for this stupid nonsense. And of course, guarantee it, I'm not, clearly as it is, there's no way in hell I'm going to give my support to him as a Trudeau as what he has done. So now like I said before, I know I'm not the only one in this position. There are many people within this position as well. Multiples of Canadians and other people from different nations, according to what I've heard anyways, are that they got pretty much trapped into this. So unfortunately, I had to relocate elsewhere, and I'm pretty much in a place which I like to call like a bit of a safe haven, so to speak. I have a place, I'm okay, but it was still pretty stupid as to what I had been impacted with, had to go through. And like I said, with the inflation, now the inflation is in the way. That means the cost of living, just to simply live, it has financially gone like practically way too high. Way too bloody high. Just for simple living. So, like I mentioned before, now, since COVID has done some great deal amount of damage, and by the way, speaking of which, COVID has done a great deal amount of both medical and financial damage, that now even homelessness has, even by percentage, has even increased dramatically, and it was getting that bad to the point that homelessness in my city, people had been trying to camp somewhere around like City Hall and trying to get the mayor's attention, but the mayor, however, brought in reinforcements to evict everyone off. And I'm thinking, like, why are you doing that? You should be helping these people, not kick them off. Where the hell are they going to stay and live? So again, things have went to like BS times 10 or 50 or higher. So now, unfortunately, with the damage that COVID had already caused, and apparently we're about to receive more kind of waves of pandemic along the way, like, good Lord, and with the damage that COVID had caused on that medical and financial sense, and now with the inflation, now keep in mind, I've explained this to everyone about this. Now with the inflation, now pretty much making things much worse, the simple part of living is costing way too much. Fuel is ridiculously high. Everything is way too bloody damn much. Like I said, the simple living is just way too much. Not to mention, now, I don't know if any of you have heard about this or not. Again, I don't know if you have. This is something that came across my attention. I was thinking about trying to get like a new cell phone, but the thing is now, when I had paid for my cell phone, it was like about a couple $100, like a little more, something like that. Now, this is getting really stupid and pathetic. We're ridiculous. Now, a simple cell phone, something like this here, it's an Apple product. It's now gone anywhere between about, literally, one of these is $1,000, $1,000, if not more, much more, ranging between like 1,000 to 2,000 to maybe 3,000 or higher. This is ridiculous. We need communication. What the hell is this? So I don't know if other countries are going through this or not. Okay, I don't know if other countries are going through this or not. But I do know that in my country, Canada, not only COVID has done a great deal amount of damage, inflation is nowhere near helping, and Justin Trudeau is still promoting the hell out of that Canadian carbon tax. He wants to hike it up even more, and oh my god, this is pathetically stupid. So now, pretty much with the cost of living, saving money is becoming more of a ridiculous challenge. Like it's anywhere between like people can try to save a little to practically nothing. Cost of living with simple living is stupid, and like I said, things have just gone really stupid. COVID, inflation, and now with the Canadian carbon tax, apparently with Justin Trudeau, he's like already saying that we can't fix the Canadian economy not without fixing the environment first. Okay, that's BS, and that makes no sense what he just said. Then again, this is him we're talking about. Anything that comes out of his mouth literally makes no sense at all what he just says. And he's in political power. Okay, oh my god, clearly he's nowhere near being qualified. And yes, we've already known this. So, throughout all of this, with both COVID, inflation, and with the Canadian carbon tax, again, I don't know if other countries are going through something similar to that or not. I don't know. But what I do know is that now, because of the great deal amount of financial damage that, unfortunately, I've been rather impacted with, and I know that many Canadians have been impacted with the same thing, and I can only make the assumption that other countries have been impacted with that type of financial damage. Apparently, according to what I've heard, that the United States is in worse condition. Again, that's only what I've heard. I can't confirm that is true or not. That's what I've heard. Out of all the financial damage that these three have cost, well, yeah. Because of that, now I'm pretty much working like absolute crazy. I'm putting in a great deal amount of hours at my job because I need the hours, I need the pay, I need this. The cost of living is ridiculous, and it's like, great, now how the hell are we supposed to fix all this? So I'm putting in a great deal amount of hours and, time and effort at my job. I'm like working anywhere between about 5 to 6 days straight. Don't get me wrong or anything, the sixth day is an option for me if I want to come on in or not. It is an option. I don't have to if I don't want to. But the way that the world has gone into the financial crapper, everything has gone just absolutely financially pathetically stupid. The way I look at it is, we don't have a choice. I don't have a choice. I'm gonna have to work hardcore straight those days because well, I need the funding. I need a great deal amount of it in order to try and to get myself financially back on track again, but I know that's not going to happen overnight. This is going to take a very, very long time. Well, what do you expect? Our Canada's already screwed up because of Justin Trudeau, his liberal government, his Liberal Party, and his coalition party. And I know that I have heard other countries have been greatly impacted by their governments as well. This world is screwed. Let's look that way. So because I'm working incredibly beyond hard to try and just to try and simply live and try and put some money away to try and fix all this and go through and just try and do what I can on my end. Unfortunately, because of all that, that is unfortunately cutting into a great deal amount of my recreation, amount of my free time, amount of my personal time. So now that means that I can produce like very, very little of the gameplay content that I desire to. It's like now this is going to take even more time to try and produce anything because my focus and my timing and my hard effort and my energy is being focused onto trying to rake in as much revenue as I can that I'm earning, and things are just too messed up. And again, I'm not the only one that's being affected by this. I know that other countries are going through this, and I also know that other Canadians have been impacted with this and going through this besides me and me alone. And again, I have to work now between 2 to 3 times as hard just to try and to sustain myself, try and make a simple living. But again, the damage of COVID, the current BS nonsense of inflation, and with the Canadian problem of the Canadian carbon tax, that's nowhere near helping. And we all know that the Canadian carbon tax doesn't, well, please excuse me for saying this, but I know other people are not going to really care because they pretty much agree with me. The Canadian carbon tax doesn't do shit. And we all know it doesn't. So, unfortunately, that's where I'm at. And I also have spoken with another person that works at a drugstore. This woman I have spoken to once, she's holding down 3 jobs, and she looks tired as hell. Very tired. And again, these are the type of issues that we've been impacted with, and now look what we have to deal with. So unfortunately, this is the nonsense which I'm dealing with and I'm at right now. So I'm trying to rake in as much revenue as I can, putting in the hard effort and, putting in the hours and trying to rake in as much funding as I can to try and fix anything I can. And well, these are stupid, pathetic BS times we're living in. And I know that I'm in this type of nonsense, and I know many Canadians in Canada here are in this type of BS nonsense, which we should not be living like this at all, yet unfortunately we are. I do know other people from other nations have been impacted the same way us Canadians have. They're going through the same BS nonsense like we are too. So this is literally where unfortunately I'm at right now. I'm working extremely beyond hard, and unfortunately it's taking up a great deal amount of my time, of my own recreation, just to play anything. Like the last time I had played anything, which was, I think was like last Sunday, I had a little bit of time on my hands, not much. Like a little bit of time on my hands, not much, where I was trying out Fortnite. Not bad little game. Trying out Fortnite with this one person I know who lives in Sweden, and we're having a nice little time. I'm just kind of getting the feel of it and just kind of figuring out how the game works and so on. Like, okay, I think I have a good idea now. It's just a straight on, you're jumping into it and you're shooting up anything or whatever. Like, oh, okay, kind of similar to Call of Duty. But now it's like, since my timing is so constrained, it's so limited, I end up playing along with my online gameplay type of female partner. She's fighting alongside me, and we're having a good time with this. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm sorry, I have to get going here. I got a lot of things to try and get done and do, blah blah blah, and so on. And other people have asked me, what, like, when are you gonna be producing a video or whatever, like, and like, trust me, I'm trying to work on this and I'm trying to put all of it together. Well, hey, making a video like this is not necessarily easy. It can be, but not always, because you put a lot of hard work into it. And finally, I managed to put in the time that I need to put into this, and now all of you have a good idea as to where I'm at and what's going on and where I'm at in life and so on. Things are just not great. And again, I'm not the only one that's being impacted with this. There are other people in my country and other people from all sorts of nations have been impacted with this besides myself. I think either anywhere between most to all countries around the world have been impacted with this. So once again, with the pretty much now the current times with the main living within Canada here, again with the inflation, once again, with the high prices of everything just to even live, I pretty much now have to continue on powering on through and pushing and pushing and pushing myself just to try and make that simple living. And since now the prices are going up again, including with the carbon taxes, unfortunately, once again, it's taking up much of my time, and I'm having very little time to myself, and very little time for recreation. So to trying to get around to making some sort of like a gameplay commentary or streaming, or even something that I want to be able to do something that's non-gaming related, like such as go outside and have a nice little workout or go to a live event or something. I can't even do that, because I have to put in now more of my effort, more of my time, and more work just to even try and rake in as much revenue as I can. And right now, well, I don't mean to be pessimistic, but how are things going right now? I don't see things right now at all gradually or slowly getting better. In fact, if anything, it looks like it's just getting worse. So now, just to go ahead and now finally wrap things up, this is now pretty much what I'm personally faced with, and this is now where I'm at. And again, the reason why I'm exposing this is because, well, I know for a fact I'm not in Canada. I'm not the only Canadian that's going through this. I also know that due to the inflation, after the nonsense of COVID, I know many people from various countries are going through the same thing. So once again, I very much do apologize if I have not been able to be as active as I would like to be, due to my absence of not producing anything for the past 9 or 10 months. But again, unfortunately, due to what happened with COVID, inflation, and including in my country, Canada, with the carbon taxes, all the other nonsense, this is again what I'm faced with. And well, I know I'm going to try and get myself inevitably back on the wagon here and try and produce something. Unfortunately, it's just taking longer than it should, and well, I'm sorry, I just can't really necessarily take the blame for this, because this has impacted everyone, including myself. So, on how I'm going to try and go forward and press forward and deal with this, I'm going to deal with this somehow. So what I probably can do is and I'll probably be searching for something that I do own and have, such as do some sort of a little fighting game or a shooting game or something like that. Probably be about roughly 15 or 20 minutes, or do a little kind of put some sort of a fighting or a shooting game or something together, and pretty much once I put it all together, I'll be able to just upload it up and then go about it from there as well. For the live streaming, well, gonna be needing more time because I want to try and so-called rearrange my own so-called little set, because I do know that as viewers watch the live stream, they're also gonna be watching the action, plus they're gonna be seeing me and the background. So I want to kind of just get things arranged in that kind of part of the section. So that, again, I will inevitably get to that. Don't worry about that. As for any kind of pre-recording type of gameplay here, I'll probably just end up putting something together and just, again, like a fighting one or a shoot up one or something like that. Or even if I capture some sort of like a little epic type of video clip of something, and I think it's kind of cool and pretty comical and epic, I'll probably just end up putting that together and just uploading it from that part. So again, I just need the time that I need in order to make this happen. Just much going on, and again, I know I don't really want to sound like I want to end up saying, "Oh, don't worry, everything will be absolutely fine and things will revert back to normal." But again, it's like, who is to say it will? Because with everything that's going on, again, it's our governments. Because I'm just thinking like I wouldn't be surprised if things got worse, and I want to say that, but at the same time, it's like, well, we have no control of that. These type of governments do, and they're just being stupid with us. So, like I said before, I'll probably end up playing something like very small, like about a 15 or 20 minute or something like that. Put it together, and then boom, it will be done. Just to keep you guys entertained, keep it going, and so on. Because I know a lot of people have been asking me, how come are you be able to produce something? Like, give me time. I'm gonna be doing something. Don't worry. So again, this video is just to explain to all of you as to what I'm faced with, what I'm dealing with, and what's going on. And again, I know that I'm not the only person that's going through this. So as for the more further in depth with either with the longer version of the live streaming, or like with the longer version of the gameplay commentaries that I put together, well, clearly as it is, that's going to take more time than usual, because it does take the effort, timing, and technically the planning, because you're planning everything in your head and on how to be able to play and constructualize everything all through, and then compress it all together, and then right away, boom, the video is produced, and that's exactly how it is. But again, that's going to take a lot of effort and time as it is. But for the shorter version, I'll just end up producing like the small ones, and then no problem from there. But as for the big ones, that will take time as it is. So finally, to put it into this video here, just to kind of wrap things up, so to speak, I do want to express my type of gratitude and thank all of you very much for continuing on to tuning into my channel here, and for all of you who have subscribed to my channel and have been, have always been entertained as to the kind of content I have produced, and have always been like a big fan of the kind of work I have produced and so on. Trust me when I say it is always very much greatly appreciating. I'm absolutely very much am content with that, and I thank you all very, very kindly for that. Truly I am very much content for all of you, for always enjoying and loving the kind of the type of content, the type of work that I do produce, and you've always enjoyed of what I do. And again, thank you very kindly to all of you for that. Always greatly, very much appreciating. So by all means, continue on sticking around, and I'm gonna be able to finally get back onto more of this and get a little bit some more stuff produced finally, since now I can be able to put out a little bit of time and just keep on going. And the bigger stuff, I'm gonna try and continue on working on that. Keep in mind, time permitted, because the way things are going right now, especially with the current times we're living in, that's going to be a bit of a tricky conflict enough as it is. But I will be able to get things rather going and continuing with the course as it is. So by all means, continue on staying tuned. Thank you all very much for all of your love and your support. Always very much greatly appreciated. Trust me, it absolutely very much is. So moving forward and staying tuned. Peace out, stay gold. Keep in touch and stay tuned.